Hello, and welcome to quarantine. This is my little 35 gallon that I keep my quarantine fish in. Here we have some Severums somebody gave me. I've got some yellow Acaras, which will eventually be my breeding pair. And in fact, this is their tank. This is going to be their tank. But for now, they have to share it. I have a electric blue Acara, and he used to have a mate. But the tank he was in with his original owner, the heater went off and boiled them. And for some reason, he survived somehow. So he is a tough mother. But eventually we'll have to find him a girlfriend because he looks like he needs a girlfriend. And then we have a couple of yo-yo loaches that I adopted last night. They seem to be doing pretty good. Holy crap, it took me 2 hours to catch these dudes. They were in a 90-gallon planted tank, and eventually we just had to rip it apart. Yeah, I have never had so much trouble catching a fish in my life. What else do we have in here? We have 7 Altum Angels. They are my future breeding group. Wild, straight from Colombia. They passed quarantine in the store. I have a very good local store. But they have a little bit of fin rot, so I am treating them with a bit of Canaplex just to make sure that they all heal up. Give this one a trim because his fins were ragged as hell. So hopefully now they'll heal and they'll grow nice and long again. But yeah, you can tell this guy's tail was pretty fudged, almost to the base. So we're giving them, what they need, and they're all eating and happy and swimming around, picking at stuff. And then we have our 3 glass knives. I was gonna take them out, but I noticed one had a little bump, so we're just gonna let the quarantine medication do its job. And since I added in there, the redness has gone away and they've, gone back to being the way they were. Which is picking on each other constantly because apparently I think I have 3 males. They're not very nice to each other. They're constantly like headbutting. But yeah, this tank is generally pretty peaceful for having so many friggin' cichlids in it. The Severums, they poke at each other. The yellow Acara, they poke at each other, but nobody pokes really at, other species so much. I mean, there's a little bit of, the blue Acara is really hyper, and sometimes it really ticks off the female Acara, the yellow Acara. But, yeah, nobody hurts each other. Everything's fairly peaceful. What else? I've had everything in here from tetras to, I don't put any small tetras in here, obviously, because these guys can suck a whole tetra up in one go. But yeah, it's a pretty peaceful tank. It gets water changes every second day, so it's easy to do medications. It's easy to grow out fish in this tank. I grew out my first discus spawn in this tank before it became my quarantine, because I have actually sold all of my discus. Well, the ones I bred. So my first spawn of discus, I had 40 babies. I culled about 8 of them. I kept 7, and the rest I sold, and I made $1,000. Yeah, I think for a first spawn, that's pretty good. And there weren't even like, because they were a cross between an Altum Flora and a pigeon, they had some peppering, but damn, those guys had some hybrid vigor. I'm gonna make a video that's like, because I know everyone that I sold the fish to, and I got videos of my discus in their new homes, and they're all thriving. Not a single one has died. They're all alive. And I've had like one of the tanks, for instance, the heater blew. That's a lot of heaters. By the way, get thermostats, guys. The freaking heaters are blowing up. My discus in the heater blow-up tank survived. Their water went up to almost 90 degrees and they survived. But the other discus did not. So yeah, I don't know. Just because a fish has some little speckles on it doesn't mean it's a bad fish. Hybrids are tough. It's like if you take two very inbred fish and you just keep inbreeding over and over again, they're going to lose genetic diversity and they're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. But if you take two very inbred fish and you smack them together, whew, you can get some fish that are like, you know, they might have the best of both worlds. They might be terrible, but they also might have all the good qualities of their parents. So you never know. It's a genetic lottery. They could be stupendous fish, and just because they're not, you know, they're a little peppered, doesn't mean that one of them can't breed with another pigeon and get a nice clean fish with nice clean genetics. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, everyone's doing okay. These yo-yo loaches are nice and clean. They're very pretty. I just don't want them in my name display. The reason why they were rehomed is because apparently they like to rip up planted tanks. So we're gonna find them a new home, or they're gonna live in my 150 because I don't think I'm gonna have a planted substrate, because it'll be for my discus and it'll just be white pool sand. But yeah, this is just a nice little me sitting with my tank in the morning video. I think that's a good place to leave it. Bye-bye.